How big a blow is this to Portsmouth?
It is a big blow. It'll be around 1,000 job losses out of a workforce in the dockyard of around 11,000. So it's very big. But for me, I think the real worry is that Portsmouth is the last place in England which builds and has the ability to build advanced surface warships. All the yards being able to do that in the future will be in Scotland. What happens if Scotland chooses to become independent? The Royal Navy has never bought ships from outside our shores. Now it'll have to go looking to a foreign country to buy ships, to go to France, to Germany, to Scotland, and that's very, very bad strategically for the defence of the UK. If
Scotland was to vote independent, and we'll know that on September the 18th next year, less than a year to go, won't that capacity have to be moved to England? Because the Royal Navy has never bought ships from any foreign power, and by that time Scotland would be a foreign power.
Yes, and that's just a huge waste of money. The MOD have done this before. Barrow-in-Furness is where they build submarines, and they let most people go at Barrow-in-Furness. We lost all the skills. A new contract arrives, you have to re-employ people, re-skill people, a real waste of public money. So this is the wrong decision at the wrong time.
But defence budgets are being slashed all over Europe, including in this country. People are not ordering the kind of ships that Portsmouth builds. Was it not inevitable, put aside the issue of Scottish independence for the moment, that the work would likely be concentrated on the 2 yards which are opposite each other on the Clyde, so you get a cluster of the 2 yards, and that Portsmouth would be the victim?
And that is a decision that could have been made if the issue of Scottish independence was not around. We're an island nation. We depend on the sea lanes to bring in all the food we eat, the oil for our cars, the gas for our central heating. We depend on the Navy to defend our sea lanes. It is ludicrous to have a position where the Royal Navy has to go to a foreign power to be able to buy its warships. And
but we're not even building
it.
We won't, I don't think, be building many more ships. We only have, I think the Royal Navy only has about 19 fighting ships now.
No, there are 19 frigates and destroyers. We have about 40 based in Portsmouth. But
a lot of these are the backup ships, aren't they?
Absolutely, but there are... the size of the Royal Navy has shrunk. We now have 1/3 of the number of frigates and destroyers we had when Mrs Thatcher came to power. So the Navy is much smaller, but the political decision should have been to keep this, not to make this decision until the Scottish independence.
They could have waited a year.
They could have waited for 10 months to make this decision.